All right, we're not working too hard over here, but I'm kind of co-working and I've got a little bit of stuff running. So if you guys have any questions or anything or want to ask me anything, I'm just kind of figuring out what's going on with the systems. Also, looks like we got some people down in the Discord, so you guys can always go hang out down there if you're wanting to mess with that kind of stuff. Good info down there. Good topics. Hey, how's it going, Cuddlingus? I got some work to do on some of my other systems, so I'll be probably popping in and out working on that stuff. And yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out. So if anybody wants to hang out, ask me any questions, talk about any of the stuff we're working on, we can do that. I have a good amount of. I got some people I got to go send messages to, and general work stuff kind of has to happen. But other than that, we're just kind of hanging out. Oh, no data. What's this page showing? That's interesting. Oh, there's the data. Okay, took a little while for the data to pop up there. That was interesting. Some of my screens are busted, and I need to get my queries looking a little better for some of this stuff. But that's no rush on a lot of that stuff. All right, let me then find what I'm working on over here. I also have my little notepad up in case anybody needs me to go over. Let me see here. Can always get rid of that if we need to do notes or talk about any of the stuff kind of going on in the systems. Where's this at? Keep an eye on what the cluster's doing, so we'll just have some cluster logging running as well. That'll be, I think, somewhat useful to keep an eye on how the cluster's all doing. There we go. A little better setup there. So what else are we doing here? Tell people about the Discord. That's what we're doing right now. We're not working too hard. Hey, Akshunya, how's it going? I see a bunch of people down in the Discord. Hopefully you guys are getting some good studying in. We're just kind of, yeah, again, some of you guys know I just kind of am hanging out. Not working too hard on nothing. Keeping an eye on the cluster, seeing how kind of the cluster's doing. I could probably organize this a little better. Let me try organizing this a little more. Maybe we move this like this. Let's see. Maybe I'll put that there. And then maybe I'll pull this other one back up. Maybe I'll put this. Not a great way to show both of these side by side. Just because of the shape of them. Might be able to kind of slide that back there. This is kind of what my screen looks like right now while I'm trying to organize this. I guess I could flatten my notepad out a little bit. Whoops. Let's see if I can flatten my notepad out a little. And that could look a little more. Let's see. I think I got it. I think I got it looking a little better. Pull that over there. Do that. And then maybe I'll show that. Like that. See if I get my sources a little better here. Yeah, that maybe looks a little better. Not great, but better. How's that? That looks a little better. Maybe we'll just leave it like that, so you guys can kind of see what's going on. And I got some monitors up, and you guys can kind of see the system as I'm kind of looking at it. Although I'm working on some other stuff while we're hanging out. So let's see. What am I working on? Today I need to clean up my systems. Oh, I gotta do some grading too, so there's always college grading to do. Never get away from all that. So I better go check on my college stuff. See how my college students are doing. I gotta explain in an email to a student why they couldn't get in the system that had prerequisites. There are, for Unit 1, you need to make sure that you have gone through them or it doesn't open up. They are above Unit 1 on the modules page. It's not super hard here, guys. Do all the prerequisites so you can get access to something. That's almost like the most important thing in college or something. I mean, what the hell? Alright, well, what can I do? Let's grade out and accessible. Alright. So, got that sent. Now I gotta do some grading. I gotta grade in the other channel, so, or my other page, so that's what I'm working on. Dragonov 308. I have not voted yet. I am gonna go vote here in a little bit. I'm gonna organize some stuff around here, and then I'll go do that. So I will. I'll go a little bit here. Stephen Vetz, how's it going? Hopefully you guys are doing all right. Looks like we got some people on Twitch, some people on YouTube. That's good. I have to get, so there's two things I got to do. One is I got to make sure in my grade book that I have everything organized right, which I should. I believe now it looks like I have them organized right, so that's good. And then the other things I need to do is actually do my grading. So I can't show you guys my grading, right, because there's all kinds of laws about that, right? So I can't show you guys grading, obviously, but I can tell you that my method of grading and what I'm doing in one class right now is I go through, and anybody who didn't do the discussions obviously gets zeros, so I do that first, and I'm going to do that in my other class here. So people that didn't do discussions get zeros. Gotta hammer that out real quick, and then I'll come back and I will give additional grades out to the people who actually did the work, right? And then I have a pretty straightforward grading rubric that I use where it's like, well, did you answer the question? I try to be fair in my grading, right? That's an important thing. If you're ever in the habit of, or if you ever get somewhere where you have to assess people, try to do it as fair as possible. I was talking to one of my friends one time. One of my buddies is an economics professor, and we were having a discussion where people could see, and one of the things I asked him was, is it just as important to give the, if you have 60 students in a class or something, you got a big class, is it just as important to give the 61st student the same, or the 60th or 61st student the same level of effort as you gave the first one? And the answer is very clearly and obviously yes. but you're also much more informed about what discussions look like and all that kind of stuff. So you have to try to figure out a way to remain objective. And some of you guys, you know how I do my objective measures and stuff like that. So nice. They say it's the most important day in America. I think it's because of my birthday today. Feels birthday. Ha! Yeah, well, happy birthday, Dragonoff 308. I think we've probably talked about this before, but your 308 in your name, is that reference to a caliber? And the reason I ask is because that's a caliber that I shoot on a rifle. I use a 308 rifle for some of my long distance precision shooting. And I had a course that I did last year. Actually, shoot, it's been a whole year now, hasn't it? Me and my buddies went out to a course last year, and I had we were shooting like 300 to 1,000 pretty regularly on targets that are about 3 to 4 feet across, and then I hit a target back to back at 1,360 yards that was 24 inches across. So it was 1,360, not 1,360 yards. So nearly over 3/4 of a mile, back to back at 1,200, or at a 24-inch plate, round plate. So that felt pretty good. I've always been a competent shooter, if not a just okay one. But I've shot my whole life. I was a competitor when I was 7, and then I went in the Army infantry. So that's all like been kind of with me since I was young. All right, let's see, where are we at here? I'm checking grades out. I got to grade some papers for my student. Actually, it's just discussion posts for week 1, so I'm really just going to go in and do all their discussions. And I'll do that here while we're hanging out. Yeah, it's not bad. Yes, very good accurate cartridge. I have a Dragunov rifle. Nice. Nice. And then that's probably, yeah. I have friends that have, so I don't own an AK or an SKS, but I imagine Dragunov is in that same, just from the name, I imagine it's in that same vein, but I don't know anything about that rifle, so probably have to look it up. I did used to own a Mosin Nagant, but I sold it. Yeah, those things are great. Mosin Nagants are fun. If anybody's ever seen the movie Enemy at the Gates, that's the rifle he's using in it, is a Mosin Nagant. Enemy at the Gates was a really good, I mean, I remember that came out when I was in the Army. And it was really good movie about snipers in World War II, but on the Russia side of things. So on the Russia versus Germany side of things, that's where that was happening. Anyway, so that was an interesting. I wouldn't call it a history piece. It's definitely a enactment and a what you would call, I guess, a dramatization of a thing, but it does show things that are accurate. So yeah. I mean, there's even a scene where Ron Perlman's another one of the snipers that kind of joins them, and Ed Harris is one of the German snipers. It's a solid movie if you guys haven't seen it. Enemy at the Gates, pretty solid. I'll put it up here. I'll put up here movies Scott talked about. Enemy at the Gates. Enemy at the Gates or Gate? I think it's Gates. Enemy at the Gates. Yeah, that sounds right. So I'm just throwing notes up here on stuff that I'm working on. Whatever we're doing, that kind of stuff. So, let me know if you guys have any questions or anything about this stuff. Otherwise, we're just jamming out to a little music. Probably wait until we find Fisherman come on, and then we'll go right over to Fisherman later before my first meeting of the day. And then maybe I'll pop back on later. So, all right, let me do some grading. Let's see what my students said. First part, course objectives. Again, I can't really show it to you guys, but the questions have to do with what they expect to get out of the course. So for the most part, for me, I go in there and I say, are you actually practicing good college level grammar. It's a Network 350 course, so you should have positive, proper grammar. Uh, that's a good goal when my students want to be ready to take the test. That's important to understand the certifications and that kind of thing. So there's two certifications that the class that I'm teaching prep the students for. One is the AZ 900 and the other is the AZ 104, which are both Azure certs. I have the AZ 900. I've never taken the AZ 104, but really at the end of the day, it's just AZ 900 is just about knowing all the terms and knowing all that stuff. That one's a pretty straightforward walkthrough type course or cert, and then the AZ 104 is more about administering it. And I never bothered taking that one, but um, hopefully these students get what they want out of it. Also, I got a really big class this quarter. I just noticed. So I'm sitting here. Oh, man. Excuse me. That was a sneeze. All right. Grading papers. Learn the in and outs of Azure. Yep, that's what we're doing. Somebody's big on gaming, so I do always let my students tell me a little bit about their gaming experience, because most people my age or younger probably have done some gaming in their lives. So I grew up on the original Nintendo. Broaden, but use the wrong word for broaden. Haplo, how's it going? Technique Unknown, how's it going? We're just hanging out. Again, we don't work too hard on working streams. At least I can't work where you guys can see me. And we're just kind of, I'm grading papers on a different view. I know you guys can't see it, but I'm just letting you know. My students are telling me about what their understanding of the course objectives are. And sometimes you guys have been in, you guys that do my Linux Systems Administration course, you guys have seen me put together course objectives. And the main thing about them is they're kind of my contract to you of what we're going to study and what we're going to work on, right? So for college students, it's the same way. They need to understand these are the 8 to 10 things that we're going to go through over the next 8 weeks, and these are the things we're going to get good at. Technique Unknown, just returned to health, had the worst flu. Oh, no. Does that... I feel like... I know 2 or 3 people that have had COVID. I know a few people that have the flu. Isn't that... It's kind of like a big thing in the colder states, I think, right? Like, as it starts to get cold and people are out in the sun less and they're bundled up more and their lungs are getting... It seems like that happens more now. We don't have a lot of that here in Phoenix because, you know, it was like 50 degrees last night, and I think today's supposed to get to like 72. Oh, it's 46 outside right now, but it's like as the sun comes up, you can be out in shorts and that, you know. So it's like we don't get a lot of that weather change here in Phoenix like you guys do. Although some of you remember a few weeks ago, man, my voice was shot. My voice was just toasted. But I still wasn't really that sick. Like I was sleeping fine. So I'm just reading through what my students are saying. Some want to get the certs, some want to just get ready and expand into the other cloud spaces. So Azure just happens to be what my college is teaching. Oh, London, yeah, or England, yeah, but it's on the cooler side, yeah. Yeah, you guys stay pretty humid over there. We don't get too humid here in Phoenix. Although I was just out on the island. So we were hanging out in Hawaii, me and the wife. I was working. She actually did like 4 hours of work a day too. But it wasn't too terrible. Neither of us worked too hard. Alright, you can't end a post with a comma. I should knock a point off for that. But I feel like for this quarter, I've been kind of going lax on the other one, so I'm not gonna bash any of these students, but like I was saying, you can't get to the end and be tired and not give the students the same level of grading as you did the earlier students. And some of the earlier students, as I've been talking to you guys, I've let some stuff slide that I normally would at least knock a point off for. Like when you talk technical documentation or professional documentation in emails, or technical documentation to a customer, whatever those things are, You can't have the bad grammar. You can't have the missing periods. You can't have the lowercase. And that's not just me being some stickler. That's simply the way it is, right? Like you have to do better. Carrie BH54, how's it going? Thanks for the follow. We're just hanging out over on the YouTube side. Nancy Vasquez, hopefully this stuff's useful. We are, again, just kind of hanging out and doing whatever. So you guys can't really see my screen because I'm grading papers and I can't show that. There's all kinds of what's the one for? It's not FMLA. What is the one for me with students? It's I forget what the acronym is, but it's basically you can't show student information to people, and that makes sense. I wouldn't want people showing my student information to people, so it makes sense that other people wouldn't be allowed to share theirs. I'm gonna do a couple of things real quick before I give all these people zeros. I'm gonna go check that they did at least. Check to make sure that they did their full discussions. Not all of them did. That's a problem. You got to do all your discussion posts. I have very clearly posted out rules for how my discussion posts work. This also kind of happens in our professional Linux users group. I have discussion posts that people do if they want to be part of the Linux Systems Administration course, and they got to do those if they want to advance and stay with the course, right? I mean, you could stay with the course the whole time. It's just you're not going to get a certificate at the end if you don't finish everything, So, something to think about for people. All right, that's a pretty good post by my student. Good. A few different posts. Is it let me look real quick. Hold on. It's student student protection laws. Title 9, FERPA, that's what it was. Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. Yeah, so it's the FERPA. Oh, look at Ranger down there. Ranger down there chilling. Yeah, FERPA, that's what it was. But then also Title 9. Title 9 is the discrimination, and then FERPA is the Federal or Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. That's what it is. But that's the kind of thing, like I even have to study a whole bunch. Like they always make me do these classes. I think it's like every 6 months I do a class on, like, if somebody's parent comes to you and asks for a grade, you can't give it, even if they're the ones who are the ones paying for it. That's irrelevant to the law of what you can talk about somebody in an education setting. Techniques unknown. Yeah, you could do the worksheets all the way up to the end. So we're actually starting Unit 9 this next week. We're in Unit 8 right now. So we're halfway through the course. It's a 16-week course. We're going to run it all the way through to the end of the year. It's free. It's in our Discord. Anybody can do it. But yeah, the general idea, yeah, of getting that. The general idea of oh, sorry guys, I'm yawning. Oh, man, I'm tired. Still waking up. The general idea is, you can cram it however you want, but I think it's going to take most people about 6 to 8 hours a week to do the work. It's a 120-hour course is what I kind of designed it for, and 120 hours is a lot. You only have 168 hours in a week, so that would be a crash if you try to do it all there. You wouldn't even sleep any. So you could try to chop it up into like a 40-hour a week thing for a month, for somebody that wasn't doing too much other things. But no, in general, it's kind of a busy, hands-on type course. So some of you guys have been following along, I know. But yeah, you just finish it whenever you can. Techniques. So go check. I got one more grade thing to check here, and then we'll go back. Say need more comments. Hey wifey, I'm streaming but nobody can see us. Alright, I get a kiss before she leaves. Nice. Also, a lot of times when the wife comes in, I change the penguin there to the double penguin, but she's not. She's going. She's not going to be in here too long. If she was, we would switch over to the other penguin. Let me pull that one up so I have it. Hold on. Let's see here. Where's that other penguin at? Not working too hard. Not working too hard. Huh. Copy this one. Go over to this other screen. Paste it. Paste. That's fine. And then if I were to actually show this one, that's the one. Hold on, I'll move it down here. When the wife's in the room, I put that one on. But then when the wife's not in the room, which she's not again, then I go back to this little one. So we're not working too hard, guys. We're just kind of hanging out today. Okay. So where am I at here? Need more comments. Good. Sometimes I gotta let the students know they need more comments for points. And let me. Need more comments. So let students know. You gotta have more comments, guys. That's it's a general rule. If you're doing a college thing and they have discussion requirements for how often you gotta talk, you gotta have more than one post, and it's got to be more than a couple sentences, especially if they're asking a question about something technical, right? You gotta probably tell people your thoughts on it and how you got there, and I kind of think it's hard to keep things down to a smaller amount of, I when I'm talking about things, I have brevity is one of the harder things for me to accomplish. I want to be more verbose about things typically. All right. All right. So that part's all done. Got some more discussion posts to grade. I'll do that here in a minute. Check out my 191. I need to, so there's also a gradebook view, and I always change my gradebook to show the oldest to newest. So I need to change that so that all my items pop up here correctly. Yep, that's the way I want it. And then same thing on my other one. View options, oldest to newest. There we go. That's better. That's the way I want it. All right. How's everybody doing? We're on Tuesday now, so we're almost halfway through the week. Not quite, but let's see. My classes. So I'm teaching two classes this quarter. One's on Monday night, and that's my Network 350, which is basically Azure 900, AZ 904, and AZ 900, and then so it's AZ 104 and AZ 900 rather. And then, oh man, it's got a little bug flying around in here. And then I have tonight I'm running a 191 class, Network 191, which is Intro to Computer Networking. And like we start off with the OSI model and walk students through all that stuff, so that's kind of fun. Have them build a project where they get into a couple of Linux boxes and they just do some networking between the two of them and make sure that they can talk, and then we set up a network for them, and then they draw out the network with a little bit of a diagram, and that's pretty much it. But it's a good little run, good little course for them. Most if you ever do college, if you do like 8-week courses, you really only learn for about 6 of them, and then you have like typically like a project week that pulls it all together, and then you have like a finals week, depending on what your college is doing. That's what my college tends to do, so it's pretty reasonable as far as getting you guys or getting my students ready, that kind of stuff. Ha! First time you ever heard the OSI model called fun. I like the OSI model more than I like the TCP/IP model. So, or what's called the DoD model, which is the 5-layer model. I prefer the 7-layer model just for teaching. Fun fact: the OSI model almost was an 8-layer model. It was the data link layer, which is layer 2. Logically, it makes sense to break that into 2 pieces: the media access control layer and the logical link control. So the MAC and the LLC layer, and that almost happened, but then it didn't. So when you look at the data link layer of the OSI model, you can actually really split that up as you teach it into media access control, which is how do we get the bits onto the line? What's the encoding scheme and what's the contention scheme? And then above, which is logical link control, which is the addressing part of it and some of the other stuff. So, so that's how media access control and logical link control kind of play into the data link layer. But, that's not really the theme of the stream, but we do talk all kinds of technology. I do have some talks online about how networking works and some of that stuff. I probably need to re-record some of that stuff, and I probably need to put some IPv6 stuff in there as well, because I know more and more people have been asking about IPv6. So one of these days I'll be a little more organized about that kind of stuff. Where are we at here, though? I gotta answer some questions and some emails, and I gotta pull up some documentation to update. And I got to finish this grading. I've been talking too much and not doing all my grading, so I'll get back to that here in a second. 9 to 5 office worker. I am on Windows. Why do you ask? I mean, I'm on Windows to get to my Linux systems, absolutely. Yep. All right. Let me get my grading going here. Keep grading. Fix it. You're back. Yeah, I was just talking about the. We were talking. You had mentioned the OSI model, and then I was, as you were on your ads, I was saying how the data link layer, which is layer 2, almost got broken up. There's almost 8 layers to the model, and the data link layer was going to be broken into the media access control and the logical link control layer, but they didn't actually do that. So those are smushed together, and then when you're learning about it or when you're talking about it, you can talk about those 2 components and things that happen there separately. So, all right, these are all good. Students are getting 10s because they have plenty of topics and they're citing their sources. And now this student's not going to get a 10 because need more comments. And then I always copy that because there's going to be more than one student that needs more comments. Layer 7 MTLS is strange. Yeah, I haven't played with much Layer 7 TLS. This person's also not going to get full points because need more comments, guys. You gotta put in more comments. If the requirements are 3, you can't only do 1. I can't let that slide. I could let 2 good comments slide in the first week, but I can't let 1 comment slide. Right? That's not That's not fair to everybody else that actually read and did the assignment the way they needed to. Huh. OSI layer 8 is usually referred to as the political layer. Yeah, Sigging out, one of the ones, man, we have a few that are pretty good. I've always liked PEBCAC, right, which is the problem exists between keyboard and chair. I like when people put in layer 8 error, which means like the user is the error, and then the picnic problem, which is problem in chair, not in computer. I've always liked that one. Picnic is problem in chair, not in computer. I think it's lazy when people say the ID 10T error. Like I don't like seeing that written out in like problem tickets or whatever. But if somebody says picnic, I think that's hilarious, right? Problem in chair, not in computer. Schizophrenic ever think of getting an M series MacBook to connect to your Linux boxes, or it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter. Skits, I can do anything as long as I can get to a command terminal. I could be working off of a potato as long as I can get here. It doesn't matter to me what I use. Yeah, Picnic's one of my favorites. Yeah, I hadn't heard it until I don't know a few years back. But problem in chair, not in computer. PEBCAC, problem exists between keyboard and chair, or between chair and keyboard, depending on how you write it. And then layer 8 error, which is pretty funny. Yeah, I use Vim. 9 to 5 office work. I normally I'll use any type of VI type tool. I normally use VI. I don't tailor out like Vim or anything like that. But there are, a fair number of people who like that. So the reason I used to use VI explicitly is because when I started, I worked in environments where I had to jump between AIX, HPUX, Solaris, which is a flavor of Unix that used to be around. It's still around, but not nearly as much. And then Linux environments. So I would jump. Yeah, I have one of my guys always uses set-o VI, and then Bash can be run as though it was like VI. Yeah, I have some guys that I know that do that. Yeah. For me, I'm about as vanilla as they come because I tend to just jump between different environments. So a lot of times you guys will not see me do a lot of customization in the Linux world. We'll talk about it, and sometimes in Linux Systems Administration course, I'll show you guys like, here's where you can go do all this dot file stuff. But then you won't find me doing a lot of that because I play my Linux engineering very very vanilla. Again, just I don't do a lot of customizations and that kind of stuff. And it's not because I dislike customizations. I kind of go without. It's almost like a Spartan thinking. I just kind of go without because then I can work anywhere, And also because once I know how something works, once I have one way of doing things, I never try to figure out another way, unless that way is demonstrably better, and then I move to that way. I'm like a hermit crab. Yeah, I'm very addicted to vanilla. That would be a very fair way of saying it. Which I even had somebody the other day ask me. I was doing a training, and they're like, "You use putty?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I never got into other shells. I never got into other stuff. But my putty shell here, I can jump between. Look, I use screen as well, so I can just jump between all these different environments very quickly. And these are all different setups from my same jump box, but I can be on any one of my things. And here, what we're watching here is just the basically like I wouldn't call it the health, but it's the proper operation of my werewolf cluster, right? Yeah, Windows does have native SSH. That's fair. I've just been using putty so long. I know some people use different terminal systems. All right. We've got good information going on. I've actually seen some people use some pretty good Moab Xterm. Tried PowerShell's SSH, it was not nice. Or yeah. Fix it. I have used some of the weird things that I've used for SSH before, just because I was trying it out on a recommendation of other people. But then I don't want to say I feel dirty using it. Just I've used the VS Code SSH just to do it, and I'm like, oh, okay, that works, I guess. Because you can SSH right out of like VS Code, you can go right to a terminal. But I just that never really sat well for me. Um, and then what other weird ones have I used? Um, that's probably one of the one of the more recent ones I've used. Um, but yeah, I jump around between Linux machines so much that as long as I have, really, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm sure we can get into some really weird ones that are out there. But for me, as long as I can get to, I tend to like to have a jump box in an environment, even if I don't have a dedicated jump box. I will take a box that's in the environment, and it will be where I go and jump into. Alchemist, I sometimes just run the Penguin when we're doing like co-working. I'm working on other stuff, and the Penguin's just me kind of hanging out, not working too hard. I can make them a little bigger if you guys want them bigger. Um, and I was saying earlier how like sometimes when it's us hanging out, I'll post the wife has a Penguin as well. So then when the wife is here, we go over to the other not working too hard, which is this one. But the wife left. She just came in and brought me some meds and then took off. So since she's not around, we just hang out as the regular Penguin, not working too hard. But yeah, I mean, I was on last night. We were going through the Unit 1 through 8. I think we got up to Unit 4 of the Linux Systems Administration course. And some of you guys that have been around with me for a while probably noticed that I recently put all my VODs, like, because VODs don't really stay very long if you're hanging out on, like, if you're just a associate on Twitch, or affiliate. I'm affiliate. That's what I'm called. I'm not a like one of the people that has longer VODs. So I just have all my VODs over on the YouTube side. So if anybody's like looking like, oh shoot, where can I see that project they were working on, or oh, they were doing the Socratic method or whatever, and if we're doing any of that stuff, easiest way to find that stuff for people that have been around and were used to me having my VODs there. I don't really like them getting deleted, so I just throw them up on YouTube. So that's where they're all at now. So in case anybody's wondering about that. Where are my teeth? How's it going? We're just not working too hard today, and I'm grading. I'm over in a different window grading students, and main thing about grading is you got to be fair the whole time. What did this student say? Went through the course curriculum, and oh, he did a little write-up of my class, which is good. So it's always good if I do a recording, because I was in Hawaii last week, you guys know, so I missed my actual class on Monday, and I missed it, but I told the students ahead of time, and then I did a recording for them, so they had all of the stuff that I had worked on, and then some students went through and did like a nice little write-up, so that's always good. That makes me feel like people are paying attention, which is important. There's a lot of info, and like if you get into cloud and you haven't done any cloud, there's a lot to learn. Like there's a whole shift to getting into like kind of how the cloud places do it. Fix it. You like sending all the YouTube. We use it to record and save locally so much data. Yeah, you know what? I never got into saving my stuff locally. I have about 2 terabytes on this machine, and man, I just look at how many gigs some of that stuff is, and I'm like, I couldn't even store a month worth of my recordings on here, and I don't even stream as much as other people. I'm like, shoot, I don't know how other people do that stuff. Schizophrenic, I appreciate that. I comment on Twitch and pop out chat and watch on YouTube. Nice, nice. No, I appreciate that. Anything to pump up the numbers, because at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff, like if you do get into any streaming, guys, the main thing is basically like people lurking and just kind of hanging out, even if they're not interacting. That's like the backbone of just hanging, like doing this stuff, which is one of the reasons I kind of like the co-working idea. Fisherman was the one that turned me on to it, so when he starts streaming later, we'll probably raid over to him today, probably before one of my meetings. But Fisherman's one of our guys. I always try to recommend you guys go watch his streams, because he does a lot of really cool stuff with I want to say like I'm like the old curmudgeon. Like I've been doing Linux for a long time, and I've just been a systems guy forever, systems admin, systems engineer. But he is kind of like one of the younger guys, and he does a lot more cloud and AI and ML stuff. And I think that's kind of cool. It all costs money. I picked up 3 JBods last week for 400. Found them on Facebook Marketplace. Came with 2 40 gig cables and 4 10 gig cables. Nice. Yeah, if you guys don't know, JBODs are just a bunch of disks. Just a bunch of disks. JBODs. One of my favorite terms from all my time in the in data centers was like, what's a JBOD? Oh, it's just a bunch of disks. It's just a big array of disks, and then you carve it up to be typically in my world it's a RAID 6 8+2. But actually, man, I could if we could go into we could do some architecture stuff if we wanted, but where's that? I gotta go find that screen I'm showing you guys here. If we look at what is it called? It's Weka, and then Weka architecture. Weka is this tool that's a very high speed system, and you can download. We have the Weka PDF. I've downloaded it before, but it's got different information about Weka. And I want to say, if we go look at, come on, get out of here, bot. Oh, there's their architecture right there. So super fast storage, but let's see if we can get to their RAID. Everything's doing internal copies of the data, but I've seen Weka do 18+2, so it's a 20 device solution, but each individual storage node of the cluster is its own component of the disks. So it's this massive amount of disks being brought by multiple different devices, and then the data is across multiple devices. So they talk about it here a little bit about how failure domains and availability zones work with Weka. So that's like their little architectural white paper. I'm not going to download it, but they've got some pretty good stuff in here about that. I can link that to you guys if anybody wants it. So drop that over here. It all costs money. Yeah, hopefully this stuff's useful to you. I appreciate you coming by. Good old offline storage. Somebody was on the other day and we were talking about, I was showing tape backup stuff, and they were talking about they had like 64 terabytes of movies or something. I'm like, ooh, that's a lot of movies, man. That's a pretty good sized Plex server. Need more comments. Telling the students they need more comments. It's always important. All right, I can give 10 there. No submissions, so that's no points. 3 good comments are pretty good. Tell them need more comments. Most students, when you kind of correct them in the first week, they get back on track, and then you don't really have to correct them anymore. So that's one of the reasons I do kind of have a philosophy of correct students harder at first, and then they will kind of get into a groove, and then it'll make their future work better. I've at least seen that. Like, it's almost like it's the same technique I use. I don't really drink anymore, but when I was younger, me and I explained this to the wife because the wife never really drank, but I used to tell the wife, you'd go to a bar and you'd order a drink from a bartender, and it would be, back in the day, it would be like $6 to $8. Like, maybe you and a friend get a drink or something. That's like $6 to $8. But I'd always give the bartender a 20. I'd tell him, Dad, just keep it. Because if you kind of like prep the bartender to think you're a big tipper, even if you give regular tips for the rest of the night, you kind of, and $12 was a pretty big tip in the early 2000s. It kind of like preps that bartender to think like, oh, this person, I'm gonna take care of this person. They give good tips, and then every now and then you throw a little extra in, but you don't really have to do much more. You just have to be a little higher than the rest of the masses at the bar, and then you get, like, I wouldn't say preferential treatment, but you get a little better treatment at the bar. At least that was years ago when I used to drink. Long ago for me. I haven't drank in many years. I mean, again, like I've told you guys, if somebody puts a beer in my hand or I'm at a party or something, I will, but I don't go out of my way to drink, right? So, some of these people, one comment's not enough in the discussion thread. Cancel, post, keep going. So people that got here late, I'm just kind of grading papers on another screen and talking with you guys about systems and whatever you guys want to talk about. See if I can finish out this page of grading. And there we go. All right. I want to be able to have my entire Steam library available to me on local storage node. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, your entire Steam library. Yeah, yeah. It all costs money, man. I'll tell you, some people, my son on his computer, he has quite a Steam library over the years. And then I think back and I'm like, man, I probably spent a few grand buying him video games over the years, you know, like he'll want a new version or whatever. And I'd say he's definitely got over a terabyte, because I know for the 1 year I expanded the hard drive on his machine for him. That was his thing. But hold on, where's that at? I gotta fix something here real quick. It doesn't look like this thing is rotating. All right, there we go. I'll prime it and maybe it'll start to rotate again. Used to have movies locally, but now most stuff is available online. Some old series though. Yeah, fix it. I had a buddy who used to collect everything on Plex, and I only lost access to his Plex like in the last year. But I used to be able to just go watch all the new movies on Plex on his stuff. Nowadays, I don't really keep anything local. I keep Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu videos local that I have, but I don't really keep movies local. I have almost a terabyte of like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu videos and stuff, like educational stuff. So I'm one of those guys who I love getting the new instructionals. Instructionals for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu are more expensive than like instructionals for like computer stuff. Like if you guys go to Udemy and buy something for like, you know, $15-20, I can tell you it's more expensive to learn a sport like that. 15 to $20, 15-20. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I've been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for about 21 years, so it's a favorite of mine as well. Just tying people in knots for the most part. All right, one of my classes grading is all done. Now I got to do the other one. So I got two discussions. So in the first week, we have two different discussion threads. One is like the actual discussion thread, and then the other one is just like students' thoughts on the course objectives. So I got to go in and do that one separately. And really, it's just they have to tell me what they think of the course objectives and what they need to kind of, like what they think they're going to learn from it and stuff. If I were to show you guys in our professional Linux users group, we have a course that we're running, and I have course objectives in there. So let me see if I have a screen capture for this. Hold on. I might have. No. Can I pull up? I think I can pull up Discord. No. Let me just pull up screen capture, add source, new source, and we'll just call this Word, right? Because it's like a Word doc. Let's go grab my Word real quick. Make it a little smaller. Hold on, I'll just toss this up there real quick. Right there's good. Word can be behind that stuff. Anyways, there we go. Yeah. So this is if you guys do our Linux systems administration stuff, then these are our course objectives for that, right? Like explain the server build process and hardware system component. These are the things, if you go do our Linux systems administration course, that I would want you to understand by the end of it. I probably could have made this a little bit longer, but these are the things that at the end of it I think that you'll understand. And probably what I'll do is, because a lot of course and syllabus and those kind of things are iterative, I will probably go back and update this as we finish building out the course. We'll go back. Fixie, so what time was that? I remember catching the end ones. Are you talking like the Linux Systems Administration? We do them on Saturdays at 3 o'clock Phoenix time, which is 5 o'clock Eastern or 2 o'clock. I guess that would be 2 p.m. Pacific now, because we just didn't shift time when everybody else did. Everybody else on planet Earth moved time and time zones, and we didn't. So, because we don't do that here. We're like Wakanda around here. We don't do that. So, all right. So let me get that out of the way. That's if we need to talk about that more, I'll have that word stuff. You're in Sweden. It's kind of late. Yeah. No, it's fine. I do have them all in. All of the units have been recorded up through Unit 8, and then there's a playlist on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and look up our 16-week Linux course, we're halfway through it. There's a big project people have been working on, so if people want to like present their projects, they can do that. Um, yeah, we were talking Enemy at the Gates earlier. It all costs money, and mainly because I was mentioning I've shot since I was about 7 years old. I used to shoot competitively, and I still shoot for fun, but not nearly as much as I used to. And then we were talking about my little Mosin Nagant that I used to have, which is a type of Russian rifle, which is Mosin Nagant. There we go. It's got it. Yeah, because like in the early 2000s, they're pretty fun. In the early 2000s, what happened was a bunch of old Russian warehouses were opened up, and they found all these old World War II rifles still in the Cosmoline. So Cosmoline is like a packing gel, and it's like a thick gel that just keeps like time from hitting something, basically, like keeps rust and dust from getting on it. So then you just wipe it off. Yeah. Oh, it absolutely sucks. And I swear you can't ever get it off of wood, but then the wood, 40 years later or 60 years later in this case, feels like it's brand new, but it's just got this Cosmoline on. Anyways, yeah, I bought that for like $135, and then one of my buddies came up to me last year and was like, "Hey, I saw some guy wanted to buy one of those for like $300. Would you sell it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So in Arizona, in Arizona you can just private party sale those, and I just sold it to the guy. So private party sale, basically just get a sales receipt or whatever. Actually, technically, you don't even do that. You can just you can meet them at a gas station and sell them out here. So it's literally the wild, wild west out here still. So, but anyways, sold that to him and got rid of that because it was a good rifle, but I just didn't shoot it enough. And also you have to use the 7.62 by 5.4 ammo for that, right? That's the longer ammo, and that's not. It's funny how that tried to turn that into like a serial number or something. That's kind of funny. No, it's 7.62 by 5.4. I believe that's the ammo type it uses. So, all right. Yeah, I had to retransition my scene because I didn't want to make sure I wasn't moving other stuff around. So, all right, but yeah, we're not working too hard right now. Let me check these labs out real quick. I'm checking out my students to see if they're getting. Those ones are going to get points. That guy is not. Okay. Now I got to actually do the grading of all this stuff. But yeah. Just kind of hanging out. What are we doing today? So today I've got work all day, which I'm generically working right now. I got a meeting here in a little bit. And then I got some college teaching to do tonight. And then the wife was gonna go do something with her friends, but that got canceled. So it was her book club. She's got 2 book clubs she does. So that got canceled. So her and I are just gonna hang out tonight. So actually, it's good that I'm streaming now, because then I don't have to probably stream later. Although I am gonna be focusing this week on getting Unit 9 and probably 10 done and get that going forward. Need to learn how to do all these things. Yeah. You just gotta keep working at it, right? We just kind of keep working on stuff, and over time we get kind of better at it. Why is this thing not rotating? I know I set that to rotate. Hold on, I gotta see why that's not rotating in the background there. Hold on, we're watching it. There it goes. Okay, now it's rotating. Now I'm going to move something in front of it and do some grading, and I want to see if that thing keeps rotating. By the way, what you're seeing there is like different stuff that we were looking up the other night. We were building out the just some stuff for Prolog and some of the stuff. Oh, okay, so it's back there. It's switching. So built some home labs, and none of it is hooked up or implemented properly. Yeah, it all costs money. The thing about home labs, they're there for you to mess around with, right? They're there for you to do whatever you need to understand and learn the thing. And I always tell you guys, like, the goal of our group is to get you guys to doing it professionally. And in the professional world, we got to tighten it up a little bit, right? We got to lace our shoes up a little more. We got to wear the top button and put the tie on sometimes. Like, not really, but I'm saying, like, you have to do a little bit more professional work at work. But you can use your home lab and your project. It's like having a project car as a mechanic. That thing doesn't have to be perfect. It's your project car. But you're working on it, and you're kind of out there noodling away on it and trying to make it work better. And that's how our home labs are. Like, even my home lab that's up right there, you guys are watching Werewolf run. Well, you're watching systems check into Werewolf, rather. That's not that big of a deal. Oh, we have something to fix from last night too, so we can fix that here in a little bit as well. But yeah, this stuff is but in the home lab we don't need to make it perfect, because it's all just kind of hanging out. Hardware firewall, layer 3 24 port switch, 2-layer 24 port 12 power over Ethernet switches. Are you using anything for the power over Ethernet, or do you just have the switches to have them? 2 Dell R710s and now 3 JBods. Nice. Yeah. There's a lot of things. Like, somebody asked me the other day what NAS I would pick, and I told them, I said, like, if we're being honest here, I would build my own little network attached storage with Linux and just share Samba to my Windows and NFS out to my Linux boxes, because that's what I do in my home lab, right? That's pretty easy. Picked up the power over Ethernet switches for free. Nice. King Tsubaki, how's it going over on the YouTube side? We're just kind of hanging out, not working too hard. I'm grading papers on a different screen. Yeah, it all costs money. I need to get my boss over at Redline to give me old equipment, because I just tell them, hey, donate to our professional Linux users group, right? Because that's all I really, anything that gets donated, I just use for professional Linux users group stuff. But mainly because I do want to build a back end high speed InfiniBand network, but I'm probably not gonna go like online and look like guys, I've bought one thing ever off of eBay and it was terrible, so I don't really do anything with eBay. But let's look for IB. Nope. IB switches. Let's see what kind of InfiniBand switches they have out there. Nope. So what kind of InfiniBand switches they have out there. They got some old Mellanox stuff. Mellanox 8-port 40 gig switch. Some FDR. So FDR, EDR, different data rates are going to determine the type of SFX and SFQ type connectors you're going to need, right? Or SFP in some cases. And different Mellanox. It's 56 gigs, right? I would rather just get one of these from somebody that I know. Yeah. I can't, like, I don't have the personality to deal with a lot of that stuff. Like, I don't want to, like, haggle with stuff, and I don't want to mess with a lot of that stuff. King Tsubaki, I am a professor. Do you want to know, like, a certain type of professor, or what are you asking? Yes, I teach at DeVry. I teach networking, systems engineering, systems security, everything in the kind of systems engineering space. I do all of that, and I've done that for 16 years. But I'm also a high performance compute engineer currently. That's what I do. I do everything Linux, basically, everything that I can get my hands on Linux. But professionally, I work in high performance compute mostly. So what we commonly refer to as HPC, right? All right, I gotta do some grading, so I can keep talking, but I might not look over there for a second here. Let's see what we got here. Speed grader. Let's see how my students are doing. Well, that's good. That's full points. That's no points because they didn't do it. That's full points. Full points. Full points. People want to learn about disaster recovery. That's good. That's one of. So I'm reading kind of through what my students are telling me about the course objectives and what their understanding is and what they want to get better at. I kind of did this with you guys on the Linux Systems Administration course. I said, hey, what are you guys looking for? What do you want to learn? And you guys you guys told me um, what things that you were looking for as far as jobs go. And then we were talking about how to get those skills up. Yeah, yeah, King Subaki. Yeah, so I do Linux most of the time. I have a Linux users group which is called Prolog. Let me link that to you real quick here. Actually, it's in the description. So on the YouTube side, it's in the description. Um, but it's the Professional Linux users group. It's free. Sometimes people have a problem getting in there, and you just have to go into like a incognito browser, and then the link works. So if you got anything messing you up or stopping you, but yeah, we run a Professional Linux users group, and the goal of the group is to take people who are hobbyists and do this stuff for fun, and turn them into professionals. That's what I try to do with the group. I've helped conservatively. I've helped a few hundred, but a few hundred people actually get jobs over the last 10 years. And then I would say if I was a little more loose with it, I've probably helped maybe up in the thousands, but I'm talking just in the Professional Linux user group. I'm not talking about college students or any of those things. I have taught over 5,000 college students in my career, and worked with hundreds of engineers and mentored people and all that stuff. So, anyways, the goal is, yeah, we just hang out and try to get better at Linux, right? I try to show people stuff. We have people that specialize in programming. We got people that specialize in security and systems engineering and all these different types of things. I tend to be on the systems engineering side of things. Do I think that the Linux Foundation exams help you when you get into the workforce since it's performance-based? Yeah, I do think it does. I have a couple of Linux Foundation certs. I hold the CKA and the CKAD. Let me think. Do I have any other certs of theirs? No, those are the only two. I think that those are very good hands-on certs, and definitely studying for them made me learn Kubernetes much better than I knew it. But yeah, I do think Linux Foundation is, and it's a good, like, I think most people look favorably on Linux Foundation stuff. So I think that they are a good type of cert. Also, Killer Coda that we use. Often we have Killer Coda. I'm always showing you guys Killer Coda here. Killer Coda is a free website where you can just go in and just start working through a lot of these different pieces, right? You want to learn Ansible? There's this guy, Scott, teaching Ansible. That's me. That's actually me right here. But you can go learn about Ansible. And if you want to, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And there's a whole bunch of labs, and then you can ask about them and that kind of stuff. So the reason I bring up Killer Coda with Linux Foundation is Killer Coda is tightly coupled with them, because the guys who run Killer Coda, Kim Woostekamp and some of these other guys, they are the Killer Coda is the back end of Killer Shell, killer.sh, or killer.sh, Killer Shell. And those guys, I don't even know what the closed captioning is trying to say there anymore, but those guys are very big on training and getting you into certifications and knowing how to do this stuff hands-on. So yeah, I do think pretty highly of a lot of those things. So yeah, you guys are welcome to hang out down there. I'm not working too much. Like normally when I'm doing kind of like co-working like this, you guys don't really get to see my screen because I'm grading students' papers, so I can't show you that. But what we can do is kind of hang out and talk. And some people around here have known me for a while, so we're just talking about systems work. You guys are seeing some busy stuff on my screen. Some of the stuff is monitoring of my environment that's built out with Grafana. Some of my stuff on the left is like we're looking at the Werewolf cluster and just making sure that nodes are checking in and doing things that they should. Those nodes are also available for people to use as part of a Linux Systems Administration course that we're making. That course is free. Nobody ever gets charged anything for it, and we're just running it right out of Discord. So that's kind of the whole spiel. Other than that, I'm just kind of hanging out working on stuff right now. Some people are probably tired of hearing me talk about that stuff, but it's literally the whole reason I go online here is to get you guys doing stuff and getting involved with the Professional Linux users group. So never any charge for it. You just kind of hang out. We're 3,100 members right now, so we're getting bigger. We're not big yet, but we're definitely bigger than we were even at the beginning of the year. So that's what we do. All right, hold on, I'm grading stuff. You guys can ask questions or talk amongst yourselves. I'm just kind of looking here and grading stuff on another screen. And by the way, I'm also going to school. I'm working on my doctorate right now, so I understand the process of how we learn and change ourselves. There's not much change that happens for people that doesn't require hard work. So not any good change anyways. I mean, obviously you can just blob out and not do anything for your whole life and probably never move up and never, get any better. But most things that want, if you want to affect a change is going to be some type of hard work. So, all right, almost done with this. I'm going down a list of things that I'm grading in my grade book, and I'm almost done with this row. Understanding LANs and WANs, local area networks, wide area networks. Is a big part of this class. Students want to know the basics of networking and fundamentals and how IPv4 works, all that kind of stuff. Okay. I'll be back over there in a second. Almost done there. Exclamation point. Somebody put an exclamation point on their thing. That's in one of my students' things. Anyways, okay. Monkey Man's here. How's it going, Monkey Man? We're just hanging out. Yeah, we're happy hardly working Tuesday. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Where my teeth lurking. Lurking is the backbone of Twitch and YouTube, so I appreciate you guys kind of lurking around. Killa, the Whopper was really good. I thought the wife was putting cheese and jalapenos on it, but apparently they didn't do that there. So, Aid said over on the YouTube side, what do you think hiring managers look for specifically when looking for junior Linux engineers or even junior DevOps engineers? Would you say certs or projects or experience? So, Aid, I kind of try to keep my feelers out there for like what managers and people are asking for, and I sometimes actually do streams. Those are some of my most popular streams when I go through like actual job postings and then we just kind of talk about what we know how to do. What I would tell you is, do I have, hold on real quick. I think I can pull up my Discord. Hold on a second. Let me make sure that I have this set where you guys can see it. Undo that. Move Discord up just a little bit. And nope, looks like I have to set Discord. Alright. Let me move Discord over a little bit. So the question was around like hiring and that kind of stuff. Let me pull my Discord up real quick here. This is our professional Linux users group Discord. By the way, there's people down there studying right now. So you guys could go be in there like hanging out with people that are studying in real systems right now if you wanted. That's one of the cool things about the group is there's a lot of people down there working on stuff, lab related stuff, or just kind of working on their own. But what I want to show you guys is up here. So the question was about like what are they looking for, right? And this is the course so far. The course, if you guys want to get into the course, you go to beginner start here. And you go down here to the playlist for the Linux sysadmin course, and this will get you started watching it. And then all the course, if anybody wants to do it. Sorry, this is a different question, Aid. I'll be back to your question in a second. The other part of it is over here, which is where everything's happening in the Prolog projects. And there's a bunch of threads, and you have to get in and do discussion posts each week. And it really feels like a college class. In fact, most of the people that have been doing it have been saying it's quite challenging. And I'm trying to make it challenging because we want you guys to do that. Yeah, fix it. That's awesome. Yeah. Also, we have a meeting on Saturday. So you go up here, and this thing got wiped. We had 208 people in there. and then it got wiped. When I went to Hawaii, I looked at it on my phone, and it went to 0, and I'm like, what the hell? And then I went back and I looked through all the logs. None of us changed this. None of us deleted it and recreated it or anything. It just wiped everybody that was in it. So then we actually had a guest speaker on Saturday who went to start it, and only one person came because they saw him down there. So it didn't alert all the people so that we could have like 40 or 50 people down there. So that kind of sucked, but I'll get him to come back again and talk to you guys again. But yeah, you come here and like your worksheets are either in text or you can get them in doc. It tells you what you're doing. Oh, sorry guys, I'm yawning. It tells you guys what you're doing for the course. But anyways, and then there's different talks and topics and stuff going on. Look, people are down here studying, right? There's study groups. I tell you guys all the time, if you see a bunch of people in one of these channels, you can go jump in there. There's no rules that say you can't. So there's that. But hey, so what are they looking for? So again, sometimes when I do things, I'll put the notes up. So sometimes you'll see them over here in presentations. And if you scroll down on presentations, some of this stuff was like these came from like actual job board requirements. So somebody was asking like install, configure, and maintain Linux operating systems, and then I said some of the things that you might do, monitor systems. So I just kind of went through and started building out my little. Do I have? Hold on. My general troubleshooting one. I have Socratic method Ansible. These are questions that I ask security intern engineers that I've had work with me as interns. This one's kind of good. So you're talking about like what we do as engineers. This one is my talk that I sometimes give, Twitch excelling in the engineering field after college, but it's really engineering field in general. And these are the things that like keep you valuable to the industry. That's something I think that's kind of important. AWS stuff. I just have a lot of stuff in here. Self-assessments, different stuff for you guys to kind of look at. I don't know. There's stuff all over here in the Discord. But the point is, the Discord exists to give you guys... Oh, hold on. Let me hide the Discord real quick. The Discord exists to give you guys a place to kind of hang out and talk with other engineers. And then it's funny, like when we started the course and in the first discussion, I made you guys do like your own little self-assessment, and then I made you go find a job that you were interested in, right? And people found out that there were, one, really interesting jobs out there that they hadn't even thought of, and two, there's other people that they could talk to about the skills and things that they were doing to get those jobs. It may come as a shock to you. I do not know everything. In fact, I don't know too many things at all. But like if you asked me about malware, I would tell you go talk to Cerberus. Cerberus rated us the other quite a few times over the last few months, and Cerberus does malware reverse engineering on their page, and I definitely don't know anywhere near as much as they do. But I can point you over to them, and if they or whoever was part of our group and did that stuff or was looking to get into that, they would have more info for you to get into that than me. So that's one of the reasons I kind of that's one of the reasons I hammer so much for you guys to get in there and get involved, because I could sit here and talk all day, 24 hours a day, and I wouldn't be able to reach all the people that the Discord server could. So, Control Bite, how's it going? And what is that? She Show Dragon. Hopefully this stuff's useful to you. We're just hanging out, not working too hard. Also, we have a few follows, it looks like, so that's kind of good. Bitter Bits. Hopefully this stuff's useful. Control Bite, we're doing both. Lurk and work. Don't work too hard on either of them. Yeah. And then, King Subaki, you find other people that are interested in similar things to you, and then go do them. And I tell you guys, like, let me show you guys something that you might not have thought of unless you've been around my streams before. In America, right, we often talk of amateurs and pros in the sports sense, right? Shisho Dragon said, what's it looking at in the screen? That's just a screen that's just kind of in case I need to talk to anything and show you guys my terminal. But what we're watching right there is actually it's tail var log werewolf.d in a werewolf cluster. And what's happening is those are nodes checking in. Every node in a werewolf cluster checks in every 5 minutes and pulls what's called a runtime overlay. So that's what's kind of going on. Yeah. Yeah, and look, guys, I tell you all the time, join the Discord. Don't talk too much. Hang out, talk a lot. It's up to you, right? You guys can kind of do whatever you want, right? Oh, get a white, get a white booty. I call him GWB, so I don't have to say get a white booty too much. All I do is work, lurk, and tour. I love it. I missed some things, but hopefully that kind of makes it clear as mud for everybody, right? You know, we do stuff, we work on stuff, and try to get better. Actually, you know, I gotta go message somebody real quick. So give me a second. Let's see. Fisherman. I gotta see if Fisherman's around so I can rate him here in a little bit. All right, so I gotta go back to grading a little bit, but you guys keep. You vote? Yeah, I did, Chandler. No, GWB. I'm gonna be doing that here in a little bit. I got a meeting at 9 for work, and then I gotta probably take shower and then like probably go find some food somewhere, and then actually I vote. Oh yeah. I imagine the lines are gonna be crazy. I'm gonna drive by and check out what the lines look like, and then I'll go. Hot Rod Chevy. 1, love the name. Hot Rod 54 Chevy. 1, I love the name. What type of engineering are we doing? We're typically systems and Linux engineering around here. I also hit network engineering and high performance compute engineering quite often. Oh, guys, hold on, wait. I derailed my thread earlier. I derail my thoughts all the time. What I was talking about was we were talking about amateurs versus professionals. And in the systems, in American vernacular, and I don't know if this is the same around the world, but I'm going to tell you guys, we tend to think about amateurs and professionals in the context of sports. And because we do that, we tend to think that professionals are good and amateurs are less good. You guys probably, most of you, if you're American for sure, there's kind of like this ingrained thing in your head where you're like, oh, yeah, if you're a professional, you're good at it, and you're an amateur, you're not as good at it. Because that's how we think of sports, right? But that's not really true in engineering and data science and research and stuff. Amateurs actually get a lot of stuff done, and being an amateur does not mean that you're not as good as a pro. It just means you don't do something for money, right? That's what the term amateur and pro really means. So where I'm going with that, hold on, let me show you guys something. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to library.noaa, and I'll link this to you guys. But I constantly show you guys there are free, what's today? This is coming up in a few hours here. Whoops. In a few hours here, there's a NOAA presentation that's free to the world. And yeah, Hot Rod 54, you're definitely welcome to. By the way, I drive almost exclusively Chevys. I've built up and worked on probably like 6 or 7 S10s in my life, and I currently drive a Chevy Colorado. So I'm a big fan of smaller Chevys, but I'm also bigger ones. Anyways, hold on real quick. There's all this stuff going on. Some of these have not happened yet, but are coming up. You can register to attend them, and they are free and open source for the public, right? And they teach you about how to visit and use the NOAA library, which is the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Agency's tools. And again, where I'm going is people tend to think in you know, oh, I tell you guys I'm an amateur data scientist, right? And you go, oh, well, that means Scott's not very good at data science. Well, that happens to be true, but not because I'm not good at it. It's because I don't spend enough time on it. I'm always doing other work. But the reason I show you guys stuff like this is, yeah, go find other people that are doing stuff similar, and you'll find that there are people doing really cool stuff. And then you go, well, why does the government leave all this stuff open? Why does the U.S. government put like data.gov, right? Data.gov. Why is that free? Why is there 300,000 data sets available for the public? And it's because they found that people that want to mess with data will figure out more stuff than people that they pay for it. So in some ways, the government has actually found out, and I know this because I've worked with NOAA for many years, they have found that the amateurs actually excel over the professionals from an actual like effective work output type sense. So that's kind of funny to me if you ask me. So car guys are more opinionated than the Warriors and the VI, Vim, Emacs, Nano, Nerdmore. Ha, that's funny. GWB, yeah, I'm not super opinionated, but I do use VI all the time. And I tell engineers they got to learn VI just so other engineers don't make fun of them. All right, hold on. I got to do this last little bit of grading. Also, I need to see about, I might have to get off of here. I Can't stay on too much longer. I was hoping Fisherman would be on so I could rate him, but I need to check to see if he is on Twitch. Nope, he's not on. We might have to raid Rob here in a little bit. RWX Rob. He's building a Go Bonsai CLI framework right now, so we might go over there. But I'm gonna do a little more grading and stuff. But yeah, I just want to show you guys that there's like a tremendous amount of things that are out there that you guys can study and work on and get better at. And my Discord is just, well, the Professional Linux Users Group Discord is just one more place. That's Professional Linux Users Group, Prolog. It's just one more thing that you can go use to try to get better at this stuff. Microsoft made all their customers into amateur beta testers. Yeah, you really want to talk about beta testing, go put CrowdStrike on your stuff. CrowdStrike, man, they took over. I read this the other day. They took over. How many machines did they take offline? I had read that over 1 billion machines were affected. I don't know that they took them all offline, but they took a lot of machines offline. I know quite a few engineers that were up for days that weren't even Windows people. They just had stuff that touched Windows. I know Linux engineers that were stuck during that, so that definitely happens. So, all right. Where are we at here? Yeah, consistency's big in anything you want to learn. Control byte, rant away. That's fine with me. You can use the platform here, or you can always use a Discord to rant on things. Let me get this. I got one last little line of discussions to grade. So let me grade my students real quick on, this is their discussion post 1. And really I'm just seeing, are they adding value to the overall discussion? And I'm trying to emphasize how much they're using it. Most people, when they get pressed with what acronym would you use to learn the OSI model, most people use all people seem to need data processing, which is 7 to 1. But then sometimes my students find really unique ones like, oh man, oh, what is this one? Hold on. A priest saw 2 nuns doing push-ups. That seems weird, but that is one, top down still. What is this one? Hold on, let's see what my this one he didn't even give one. That's fine. I don't require them. I think as you do stuff more and more, you need less acronyms to know kind of how something works. Whoops. There we go. All right. CrowdStrike made my job hell for a week, and then it was back to browsing YouTube for 8 hours a day. Yeah, that one was rough. The big one for me was Log4j a few years back. Log4j, Logfourj. Yeah, that's better. Log the number 4j. There we go. That's better. I don't need the octothorpe, but that's fine. Wait, can you do a literal octothorpe? Closed captioning. Stop being dumb. Show a pound sign. Nope, I want an octothorpe. Whatever. Yeah, Log4j was wild. It was 100% vulnerable if it was exposed to the world. However, we had some protections in place behind like an Akamai firewall. And did that. I tell you guys, like I got two awards during that time for my work on my Linux systems, which is funny to me because I just feel like Michael Scott getting the award for, like, he doesn't even know what he got the award for, or the award. I don't even know what I got the award for, right? Like I was just doing, I was just at work basically, and then that's funny to me. But what was I thinking here? Sorry, looking at other stuff here. Yeah, like I don't even know what I got awards for, but they were both cash awards. So I was like, all right. And one was from a director, so it was like a lot. Well, the other one, they were, neither of them were small, but one of them was like a lot. So, Control byte, but software is a product. If you were producing a physical product, would you ship it with defects? Typically not, but for some reason it's been accepted that software can and will be shipped with no bug. Oh no, Control byte. This is, so what you just said is actually a huge thing that has come up recently. Oh yeah, no, control bike. That is a really good point. One, this is a thing that's happened with games over the last, you know, probably 5 years, maybe 10 years. Like people that buy video games and then it's like you buy the game and maybe even get to play early testing on it, but like there's going to be vulnerability or there's going to be defects in it, right? And then they patch them out. And I actually hate when I'm playing a game like if I'm playing Brotato and then like there's an update and then now something's changed. It's Brotato. Yeah, Brotato, right? It thinks I said potato. Anyways, so where I'm going with that control byte is then other things started. Like I feel like that same kind of philosophy has crept into other things too, like my Chevy truck. It can tell me, hey, you need to download and update this thing, and I'll go ahead and let you know when I'm done updating. But you can't drive me until I do. And I'm like, the hell, I can't drive you. Like I need to actually go back to like I always used to keep I had an 83 Bronco that I would keep around. Normally I'm a Chevy guy, but I did have an 83 Bronco that I like to work on. And one of the things about the Bronco was I mean shit, it always just worked. As long as there was gas in it, that thing started and worked. So like I didn't have to worry about all the electronics and stuff in it. And that was one of my favorite things. But it's also funny if any of you ever worked on an 83 Bronco, it had the middle motor. There was like a big I think it was a 454 motor, and then there was like a 408, and then there was like a 3 something. I think it was 351 is the smaller of the Ford motors. But anyways, I think I had the 408 in it. But it's funny when I say about electrical is I wanted to swap out on that Ford. There was a belt-driven fan, and I wanted to. So belt-driven fans for cooling the system take like 5% of the horsepower. So you can actually chop. You just chop the belt, and you have to get a shorter belt then to only go over some things. And you take the belt-driven fan off it, and you run an electric fan, right? And by going that route, you're more electric, but you're using more of the power to the wheels for the vehicle, right? And that's a common mod that people do when they're trying to get a little more horsepower out of systems. What is this one? Please do not throw sausage pizza away. That's a very common one. So I'm reading my students. Please do not throw salami pizza away. Well, okay, that's a different way of saying the other one. That's fine. These students, I'm looking for basically just that they've done the assignment. Oh, this one's fun. All people seem to need data processing. We know that one. All pros search top-notch donut places. That might be hard to remember. Please do not throw sausage pizza away. People don't need to see Paul Allen. I think Paul Allen was Apple, wasn't he? But anyways, people don't need to see Paul Allen. That one seems a little harder to make work. But please do not throw sausage pizza away. That's another one that we've been saying. Please do not throw sausage pizza. Okay, that's the same. I'm looking. Sometimes people have really, really funny ones. Sometimes the students will find one that I haven't seen. All people seem to need data processing. That's fine. But again, that's top down. Yeah, please do not teach students pointless. I like that one. I would see it would be better if the acronyms actually felt like we're in line with what you're actually doing. Because I tell you guys, after you've studied the OSI model for more than maybe even like 3 months or maybe a couple college classes, you don't need the acronym anymore. The acronym's just there when you're first learning. It's like a framework, a scaffolding. Once the building's up, you don't sit around and like, oh, I'm glad the scaffolding's still there 5 years later. Oh God, if that scaffolding wasn't there, this building would almost look presentable. No, you take the scaffolding off, right? Uh-oh. So this one is Pew dead Ninja Turtles smell particularly awful. That's terrible. Pete doesn't need to sell pickles anymore. Man, I'm going to tell the student that's disturbing. Pew dead Ninja Turtles smell particularly awful. That's terrible. I think the Ninja Turtles only died in one. Please do not tell secrets anytime. Please do not tell secret passwords anytime. That's okay, I guess. I'm not going to take any points off for bad ones, but okay. I don't prefer the TCP IP model. I prefer the OSI model for sure. 100%. Like, hands down. For teaching and everything. I like the OSI model better. Probably because it's the first one I learned. Please do not tell secret passwords to anyone. That's the second time I've seen that one ever. Please do not touch Steve's pet alligator. I think that one's silly, but still full points. I feel like some of these people copied off each other. Please do not throw sausage pizza away. That one doesn't have one, but it's not required that they have them. Please do not throw sausage pizza away. Again, yeah, like we were talking about pointless acronyms. That doesn't really help you. A penguin said that nobody drinks Pepsi. Oh, man, I better not tell my wife that one. Okay, let's see. A penguin said that nobody drinks. Yeah, it's correct. From top down. Application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link, physical. Yeah. I'm going to send that in a text to my wife cryptically. A penguin said... What does it say? Hold on. A penguin said that nobody drinks Pepsi. Yep, I'll send that to my wife cryptically, and she'll be like, what are you telling me? Because she likes Pepsi, and I'm more of a Coke guy. So... Alright. Somebody just thought something up on the spot. No, I don't know. I'm reading stuff. Yeah, Control Byte, thanks for coming by. All pros search. Yeah, no, I don't like any of those ones. Those are all, none of those are new. But again, I'm not knocking points off for ones I don't like. I'm just still giving them the same points. It's for participation. Although it's more than just participation because they do have to actually do answer the questions that I need answered, right? So, all right, guys, I have to go real quick to a meeting. So what I'll do probably is just, yeah, Killa, on my other screen, I'm grading a college class. Yeah. I was grading stuff, and I was just kind of reading you some of the acronyms that my students had found. So, actually, probably the easiest way to do this, guys, is I might just have to raid over to somebody. So let me just go raid over to Rob. And maybe I'll start up a stream again after when I'm working on some stuff. Let me go find Twitch dashboard. We'll go right over to Rob. For people on the YouTube side of things, come hang out down in Discord if you want. Discord is right down there in the description of the thing. If anything doesn't work for you, just click the link and do it in what's it called, in an incognito browser, and it'll take you right in there. So. Let me go drop us on the end of stream, and we'll go hop over and see Rob here. So where's he at? Following RWX Rob. Rob's been raiding us a lot lately, so our message will be something around like do all the Linux. So I appreciate you guys coming by, and I will see some of you probably later today. I'll probably be on again, but I definitely appreciate coming by while we do a little bit of working and talking about Linux and stuff. So all right. I'll talk to some of you guys later.